What's going on, YouTube? What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Baknd Podcast, Facebook, LinkedIn. Welcome to the Baknd Podcast. This is your cousin, Dr. Tayler Jacobs. And I want to say welcome to the Baknd Podcast, where we teach you how to get the bag from behind the scenes. I've always wanted to do that. What's going on, IG? What's going on? Today's podcast, first of all, if you do not know me, my name is Dr. Tayler Jacobs, and I build successful businesses. I've been doing it for a very long time, and what they say, you can check my stats online, whatever. But the key of the podcast, the Baknd Podcast, is really just to show people like you don't have to be seen to get to the bag. You do not have to be seen to get to the bag, for sure. And you do not have to post and create content for the rest of your life in order for you to get to the bag. And so I'm going to be talking to y'all today about a couple of strategies and things that you can do to actually put yourself in position of authority. But I want to start with a video that I did on IG yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think I did IG. Yeah, it was yesterday. I did a video on IG yesterday, and it was what would I do if I only had $5,000 to my name? And one of the things I talked about was taking the $5,000 and getting into a community of like-minded people, entrepreneurs that are winning, that are making some money, that are making headway, because it'll allow for you to start networking with people that are of the caliber that you aspire to be, maybe even a couple of steps ahead. I'm going to talk to you guys in a second about the importance of that. Can you turn on my board and give me a clear screen? And if y'all do not know, on the podcast, I'm one of the only podcasts that actually likes to go to the board and give y'all actual applicable business strategies that you can use on the back end. Now, in this video, a young lady was like, let me get to it. In this video, a young lady was like, let me see if I can find it real quick. In this video, a young lady was like, there's a couple of them, but one young lady that stood out was a young lady that was like, okay, if I have $5,000 to my name, and I spend money getting to this community, a couple of people that are typically 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. Let me find her. I just saw her name too. A couple of people that may be 2 or 3 steps ahead of you may not want to work with me. I've dealt with this on a continual basis. And what was that young lady name? Oh, I can't believe I can't find it now. It's on my IG. Somebody finds on my IG screenshot and send it to me in the DM. I just can't find it. And it's a comment under the video I did talking about the 5,000. And me and my team, we're doing this challenge. Y'all gonna see a bunch of it, of us actually talking about things that we would do if we were in these precarious situations. And one of the biggest pieces of value, what's going on, Suge Knight? One of the pieces of value that undervalued pieces of when it comes to business is forgetting that the main thing of business is to provide a product or a service to the marketplace. It didn't tell you how you needed to get there. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. We'll talk about that a little bit today too, as we get going. So, in this video, as we were talking, in the video I was giving the explanation and she talked about this. But the problem that a lot of us have is that when you are behind on your bills, or you have a little bit of income, or a little bit of income or something, and you get into these programs and you don't have, they're 2 to 3 steps ahead of you. They're going to do what's called the eye check. Anybody know what the eye check is? The eye check is when someone judges you based on your social media presence. This is a fact. Where people judge you based on either your social media presence or your lack of having some sort of portfolio that proves the value that you bring to the table. So what I tell people all the time is that social media is nothing but your open portfolio of the value that you bring. Whether you get customers and clients from your social media platform, that really doesn't matter. But being able to display your knowledge base, or being able to display the information that you know, that you can own, the things that you can do, and talking about your expertise, whether you have a bunch of followers or not. This is absolutely important. Why? Because even jobs are looking at social medias to determine the quality of person that you are. Does it make sense? So if I were to give you an example, your social media platforms are like an open portfolio of the value that you can bring to a company or to a person. So when I tell people that, we focus on the back end money, we focus on the back end bread. I want to give you an example, right? A lot of artists, as they're singing and they're making their money on tour, they're influencers. But let me give you something that is 100% a fact. Influencers are only influencers as long as their followers want to continue to be influenced by them. Have you ever seen an influencer, or even me myself, we post too much and all of a sudden you stop following that person? Not because you dislike them, but just simply because you're like, okay, I've had enough. And so many of us are so committed to being this influencer, or being someone that is seen, or having this huge brand, and not realizing that all personalities phase out. You get older. And there are not too many people who can absolutely crush it, kill it, or make money with their personal brand over a elongated period of time. A personal brand is a short time. What's going on, Tess Williams? A personal brand is a short window of popularity, of value, of influence, of likability, before there is something new or some other person on the block that may be catching your supporters or your followers or your fans' attention. This is why we teach Baknd, because bringing back to the story of the artist thinks they're the hottest thing on the planet. Nobody would ever imagine anybody other than this artist, right? And then they go on tour. And then they're everywhere on the pop charts and the R&B charts and the rap charts. And they're doing all of this. And then eventually there's a new face that the people want to associate themselves with. These things are facts. And after their fame is gone, and after no one is chanting their name, after, as a celebrity, you're not getting as many casting calls. After, the influencers are not getting people calling on them to sit on panels because they don't have that type of pull anymore with their market. After that, guess what happens? Now they want to learn the back end. Now they want to learn about the contract that they signed. Now they want to... It's after they were not naive, willfully naive. It's after those things begin to fade that they want to learn the back end. Why is that? What's going on, Val? Why is that? It's because the back end is what sustains you. It sustains and maintains. The front end is what promotes you. Oh, that was good. Let me go to the board before I forget. Because y'all know I be talking off the top of the dome. My sha-na-na. Because if it's in you, it's in you. You don't need no show notes. You don't need no show notes if it's in you. Okay? So when you talk about the back end, and yes, I'm spelling back end the way I want to. And then you talk about the front end. The front end promotes you, and the back end sustains you. The problem that a lot of us have when we start business is that we only think of the promotion and not the sustainability of the promotion. And this is where so many of us not only lose out on the money and the opportunities, but this is also the chance for so many of us to actually get it right the first time. Imagine how all of the best things are built in the world. The back end, the things that sustain you, the foundations, the cement, the things that set in are the framework. When your car gets totaled, if the frame has been bent or broken, guess what happens? They total the car. Why? Because the longevity of the car is now what's the word I'm looking for? Is now altered, for lack of better words, or changed because the framework is broken. And I know a lot of this may be boring to a lot of y'all that's trying to get money real quick, but let me tell y'all something. To somebody that's got a lot of money real quick, getting a lot of money real quick without the proper structure and foundation and sustainability of the back end, it will F you every single time. Press the number 1 if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Press the number 1 if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And so when it comes to the front end, compromise. Appreciate that, billionaire coach. So when it comes to the front end, right? The front end is about aesthetics. Looks. I don't know how to spell aesthetics, but I'm just going to write looks. The front end is about looks. It's about brand acceptability. Now, I know this is hard. I know this is what's going on, Supreme. I know this is hard. What's going on, Junie? I know this is hard for a lot of us to accept. I know this. I know it's hard for a lot of us to accept. But one thing that you have to accept is that we live in a society that is shallow. We live in a society that is shallow. Now, cousin Dr. Jake, what do you mean live in a society that is shallow? What I am telling you is that we live in a society that cares a lot more about looks than substance first. I know this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but somebody got to tell you the truth. Everybody is not a baddie. This is why the best lyricists, the best artists, the best writers in music most times are never even seen because they don't have the look that's required to attract people to want to be like them. I know this is hard for us to wrap our minds around, and unfortunately, cousin Jake is here to tell you the truth. I'm here to tell you the truth. Okay? So when it comes to brand acceptability, okay, we'll say cultural. You're right. Billionaire coach said, let's say cultural. I agree. It is cultural. I won't say society, but I'm talking about the society of the world that we live in here in America. But even if you go abroad, if you look at who they put as poster childs of their businesses and their whatever, typically it's models, it's influencers, it's celebrities, it's the people that people aspire to be like. And this is just a fact. So when it comes to the back end, though, no one cares what you look like in the back end. We care about efficiency. We care do you know how to do the work. We care about are you the best at what you do? And I'm here to tell y'all, there is more money being on the back end than it is being the front face and a celebrity promoter or influencer, no matter what industry you're in. There is more money being made. The artist that you see, that you love as a hip-hop, R&B, or country singer, or a rock star artist, they don't make as near as much money as a label owner. The basketball players and the athletes that you see on the field, that they are the stars. They're not a star forever. Michael Jordan is not on the court playing with LeBron. All things come to pass. All things come to fade. But it's those things in the back end, those people who control the back of the business, those things that control the back of the element. Those are the ones that make the most money. You look at the players, you look at the artists, and you aspire to be the players and the artists and the people that are seen. But we got to get more used to aspiring to be the producer that no one sees, but their name is on all the royalties of every movie that they ever wrote. We got to aspire to be the owner of the team, not the player. The GM that's putting the team together, not just the coach. Because the GM fires the coach. So on the back end podcast, it's important that we understand that Cousin Jake gonna teach you that the back end is more important than the front end. Now we do have some anomalies. We do have some anomalies. People who know the back end and can play the front end like the best of them. I'll be proud to tell you, Cousin Jake, I do both. I never wanted to be subjugated to anybody on the back end. I never wanted to be victim to somebody playing me on the front end. But I've always been okay. Let me tell y'all something about Cousin Jake. I've always been okay with being the number two. Like I told my class last night, I've always been okay with being number two. The problem is that I'm just a strong ass number two. I'm the number two you know can be number one, but chooses to be number two. Chooses to be on the back end. And that's the position that you want to play. So I know what a lot of us do when we get in business, right? I know what a lot of us do. I know what a lot of us do when we get in business. We always think of, shoot, I want the company in my name. I want people to come work with me and for me. And I wanna position myself and then have the, I want, listen. Listen. That type of thinking will always have you not on the back end, but sitting on the back seat. Not the back end, the back seat. And here's the deal. I know what y'all thinking. Jake, but I don't work for nobody. I work for myself. The problem is that when you think of the back end, you only think of the back end from an employee's mind state. An employee's perspective that says that I'm going to wait on the leader to tell me what to do. No, 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 no. If you control the back end, you control the board. Why is this important for us to understand? It's important for us to understand because of one word: lazy. Lazy. 90% of the people online are lazy. They don't want to do the work. That's why they teach us what? The 4-hour work week. They teach us what? To stay on the back end. To be on vacation. Make our money and stay in the clubs. Make our money, just drink it away. Let's have fun. These are the things that they teach us on a regular basis. So you know what my thought process is as a back end specialist? Yeah, go have fun. We got this back here. Oh, you want to travel? Go on and travel. We got this back here. Oh, you want to? No, go do that. You want to go show off? Do that. You want to be the face? Go and do that. Because the people that just want the front, only thing they care about is their look and their brand acceptability. and the almighty dollar. But somebody who cares about the back end. Listen, fellas. Listen, ladies. Listen, cousins. You control the board. You control the board. Now, contrary to popular belief, until as of recent, the majority of my business career, I've never created a new product or a new service. I've always just scanned what worked, took what was working, added my gift in it, and then added people to my team that can help make it work. Whether I was in the front selling the product, or if I was in the back controlling the board and on the front selling the product, I always wanted to make sure that I put myself in a position that I can play the game with whoever that was pushing the board forward. It's about learning how to play the game. So I see a lot of entrepreneurs. Listen, y'all are extremely talented. And I see y'all beat yourselves up on a daily basis. Every day. You beat yourself up on a daily basis. Continually. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. They got a bunch of followers. They got a bunch of this. They got a bunch of that. And you don't realize that you could have what they have if you played the back end. For an example, can I give you an example? If you study the Bulls, because we're talking about getting to. Let me ask y'all a question. I want you to be honest. Do you want to have fortune, or do you want to be famous? Put it in the chat. Do you want to have a fortune, or do you just want to be famous? Fortune or fame? What's going on, Max? Fortune or fame? Can I tell y'all something? It's more of us that are scared to be on the front end, that don't like to be on the front end, than they are people who want to be on the front. It's more of us that care about freedom and our family and our children, all these things. But we then become enslaved to the fame because we don't know how to separate from it. So, most of y'all said fortune. So if you care more about the fortune more than the fame, can I tell you something? The more fortune you have, inherently, you will always get fame. So if you capture fortune, you're easily going to have influence, and it's easy to get fame. But if you have fame, it is not always likely or equal that you will have fortune. So when I talk and when we do consulting with so many entrepreneurs, and they say, Jake, like, I'm really good at admin, and I'm really good at organization, I'm really good at media, and I'm really good at videography, and I'm really good at system building, I'm really good at website building, I'm really good at graphics and logos and branding, I'm really good at Facebook advertisement, I'm really good at creating content, I'm really good at posting. And they say, Jake, I'm trying to figure out how can I win? And my first thought is, if you're good at that, go find somebody that want the fame and you take the fortune. Y'all listen. It's that simple. I'll give you a prime example. Yes, I can sell really good. Yes, I can create products. But what I am great at doing is business development. Not spelling clearly. Is BizCo class still good? Business development. A business developer is simple. We put the business together. Yeah. We find the product. We find the team. And we find the influence that can help collectively get the product to the customer ultimately to make the money. Okay? Ultimately to make the money. This is what I do best. I do this really well. So when I find a product, the first thing that I'm doing, I'm not trying to figure this thing out myself. I want to go find the team that can help me facilitate this. Because guess what? The person who develops the business controls the contract. The person who develops the business controls the contract and everything on it. The people that are partnering with this contract read the contract and they can either sign it or they can contend it for amendments. But they're still amending your contract. And what I always tend to do, I always tend to position myself at the center of the business. Not the face, not head of marketing, just the center. I'm whatever I need to be in order to make this thing work. But it's always making sure that our back end is good. Because back end has longevity. Did y'all know that? Longevity means your business, you're able to stay in the game longer. Back end has longevity. So I said, man, I'm really good. I'm really good. And I started off being just really good at sales. Let me show you what happened. I started off being just really good at sales. I said, man, my skill set is sales. What can I do to put myself in a situation where I can use my skill set to work my way in a business? So I took my sales skill set and I found someone else's product that I could sell. So I said, so what I did was I got an insurance. That's what I did. And then I partnered with a company that let me create my own rules. Then I took my sales, I sold their product, I partnered with a company, then when I got big enough, I renegotiated my contract. And became independent. Then from becoming independent, we got so big that then we went in a 50-50 partnership with the company that I came in under. Controlling the board. So you may say, Jake, I got a skill set of being an admin. You may say, Jake, I got a skill set of being an admin. First of all, you need to enhance your skill set. Being an admin and staying an admin are two different things. The admin's job is to keep the executive on track and help manage the executive's business or task that they give them. So an admin's roles are very similar to somebody who runs operations, the COO, a chief operating officer. So you can come in as an admin. Say your skill set is an admin. My skill set is an admin. I'm like, okay, that's currently my skill set. My upgrade is operations. So I can find someone who's a lonely entrepreneur. I can create a contract between me and the entrepreneur that states after a certain amount of time I can get equity or participate in profit share. PS, that stands for profit share. Have a contract. I become that lonely entrepreneur's admin. 9 times out of 10, they can't afford me. Let me give you some game real quick. If you want to make money on the back end without being seen, you got to get good at looking at opportunities, not just feelings or people. You got to find opportunities. See, being somebody on the back end is almost like being a talent scout. A lot of y'all are in the back end. Y'all always look for opportunities. If you do admin or if you do services, if you run Facebook advertisement, if you do marketing, if you create content, if you do media, even if you create like products like candles and stuff. We always look for opportunities of people that can just afford us. When you should be looking at opportunities that can give you the availability to grow and work yourself inside of a role where you cannot be replaced. Because for some reason, so many people online have led us to believe that you can't be an entrepreneur if you work inside of a company or with the company. What is the definition of an entrepreneur? Someone who takes more risk than everyone else that's a part of the company. So the person that has the most risk is considered the entrepreneur. So if I have a skill set as a back-end player, and I say I'm going to take just as much as risk as you, doesn't that put you in the same position as far as vulnerability as the owner of that business? Yes. I've never in my life, and I'm not telling anybody not to take a check. You got to take care of your family. I'm just telling you from my experience. I have never in my life taken a check from anybody without it having some type of performance metric to it. Because I want to get paid on my value, not based on, I want to get paid on the value that I bring, and I want to quantify that. Because I want to participate on the back end. So I want to find a lonely entrepreneur or a small team that doesn't have my skill set, and 9 times out of 10 they can't afford it. Because this allows for me to show and prove my ability so that I can work myself in by contract into equity or profit share, which will allow for me to have a greater return than any base salary could ever give me. And then when you become the admin, you learn all of the operations, and now you start to get trained, and you invest in your training to become an operations specialist. Then you graduate from admin to operations. This is what Sister Victoria did for our company. Sister Victoria started off as an admin and worked her way up. Now she runs all of the operations, and she will soon be signing an equity contract. So she went from just an admin to now soon to be a part business owner in a company she just came to add value to. Press the number 1 if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You may say, Jake, okay, so those are service-based skill sets. What if I'm good at making candles? Let me give y'all 3 types of people. The first type of person is the worker. They're just working a position. The first type of person is a worker. They're just working a position. The second type of business is the entrepreneur. They're selling and they're taking a risk. The third type of person is the billionaire. Or the free man or woman. They're the distribution to the entrepreneur that hires employees that work the positions. So my goal is always to be distribution. How can I be the distribution of anybody's brand, product, service, or whatever? Why am I telling this? Again, because most people are lazy. Y'all, they only want to do what they know how to do. They only want to work in the area or the field that they want to work. Yes, as an executive, it is my job to do what I do best. But it is not it's my negligence if I don't learn how to do everything else or learn the functions of it. Because the name of the game is controlling the back end. So there are more chances for you to put yourself in position to make $1 million on the back end than it is for you to be on the front end getting ridiculed and beat up and your emotions get in the bag and you begin to start thinking that your gift is not valuable. So, you say, Jake, but I make candles. That's my skill set. I'm good. My skill set is making candles. I make candles. Everybody else on the internet, the first thing that they'll tell you to do is, okay, you want to get your brand, you want to do all this, you want to learn sales, and you want to create content. You want to blase. Not I. You know what I would tell you to do? I would tell you to create brand awareness, and Iggy would tell you to create blogs. But I would only do brand awareness as a portfolio. So people can know what you do and how good you are. If I make sales, cool, fine, whatever. But that's not my objective. My objective is to use social media to create brand awareness about my product, making candles. The next thing I would do, because can I tell y'all something? It's easier to learn the art of running Facebook advertisement than it is to learn the art of communication and sales. Am I lying?
No, that's 100%.
Can you come to the mic and... That's what?
No, that's 100% true. It's a lot easier to learn that skill set and apply it and be able to offer that as a service to other people, and then even turn into a product and teach other people than it is to learn
So you gonna beat yourself up. You just got started in business. You're shy, or you're not confident. You got whatever emotional issues, whatever traumas that you have, and you're trying to learn how to communicate and speak online. And to be honest, my job is to tell y'all the truth. Whether you take it as truth or not, that's on you. But we all do judge. You know that, right? We all judge. There is a reason why your product can be better than anybody else's product. But if somebody looks better or has a better reach than you, has sex appeal, or they are comedic, or they have comedy, they have a much better chance of selling a product than someone that's regular and average. That's why so many of us struggle with the imposter syndrome. We spend money on our teeth and our clothes and all of this. Why? Because you have to look the part to be accepted. Y'all do know that, right? Like, I'm just... Can we be honest? Herman said the things that I'm writing are backwards. It's only backwards because you're not on my YouTube. If y'all want to see the board, y'all need to go to my YouTube, Tayler Jacobs. And Instagram always channels out. I don't know what time, but this is truth. And I'm also going to tell y'all the truth. If I had a speech impediment and or I was ugly, like for real ugly, it'll be hard for you to listen to me. I would literally have to have jewelry, and I have to be in front of my Lambo, and I would have to position success for you to openly want to listen to me. But because I got a nice smile and I'm a little bit handsome and I got some success and I communicate well, I'm an easier draw to you. This is a fact. And it's a hard pill for us to swallow. But a lot of you said that you wanted fortune, not fame. You cared about fortune, not fame. That's what you said. And because you said that, I'm going to believe it, that we got to internalize the truth of the type of people that we're doing business with. It's the truth. And the more we sit in the truth, the easier it is for you to be successful. So what I wanted to do, I never wanted to, believe it or not, the reason why I'm so good on the back end, and I love the back end, is because I didn't always used to look, I was a weird looking kid because I was tall and short in some areas and long arm here, big hands here, like, my face was trying to figure out what it wanted to do, and then I became a big boy and things changed. And it became easier for me to do the same things I tried to do. This is a fact. So if I had a candle business I would not rely on my looks alone to build my brand. Why? Because looks are fleeting. And eventually you won't look like that. And if your brand is built off of your look and you begin not to look the same, guess what's going to happen? The success of your business will dwindle. So it's good to build your business with a back-end mindset to start. So this is what I would do if I had a candle business. I say, okay, I make great candles. Remember, the person that puts the deal together is the person that controls the contract. The person that puts the deal together is the person that controls the contract. The person that puts the deal together is the person that controls the contract. It's hard. It's hard too. It's hard. So if I had candles, I'm just trying to create brand awareness to my product, which are my candles, and to show people my portfolio of what I do and how good I'm at doing it. That's a fact. We don't nobody know what the owner of Nike look like, but you know who Michael Jordan is. You know who Kobe is. You know who Kyrie is. You know who LeBron James is. But you still don't know what the owner or owners or whoever it is of Nike look like. Think about it. So the second thing I would do, after I perfected, I know what product I'm going to sell. And I know, and I create the system, my back end system. I create my back end system. Now I'm going to do what? I'm going to go find the talent. I'm going to go find the talent. Now, some talents are generational. Other talents are good enough to get your brand to the next level. And the better you are at finding the talent and creating opportunities where that talent can make lots of money and change their life, and you create the environment and you invest into the brand and the distro and everything, the more likely you are to have a winning business. Y'all, I literally play basketball in business. I have a draft every year. I draft new talent every year. Who's the next person that I can help and they can help us? So Jake, what's the first talent should I look for my candle business? This is the number one mistake I see so many people make. You ready for me to tell them?
Yes, sir.
The number one mistake that so many people make, and I made this to myself, is one, for people with product-based businesses first. I'm just going to start with product-based businesses. Only product-based businesses first. You want the talent to sell your product that only you own. So can somebody tell me, how committed is that person going to be if they know that they're selling a product that only you own and you gave them no money up front? No money up front, no high signing bonus. How committed is somebody going to be if they know that you didn't give them no real money up front, no big money, no check? You want them to sell your product as a back-end deal, but they know that they have no ownership in your product. How committed? Only one person responded. I'll wait. This is my show. Y'all gonna participate. The Riddler group said not very. Not very committed. Eugenia said not committed at all. I know who you are, Charles. That's Charles. Tracy said not much. Exactly. They're not going to be that committed. So there are two options that you have for them. Only two options. When you find this talent, oh Jake, what does this talent look like? They got the look. They got the influence. And they got the swag for whatever market you're trying to market to. I know what y'all thinking. Jake, my product is good enough. Well, if your product was good enough, why do businesses use influencers? Why do businesses pay for advertisement? Why do businesses pay Facebook so that Facebook pays these influencers that's making these content on these sites? Because your product alone is not good enough. You need the look, the influence, and the swag. Somebody who's swaggy enough to understand the market for your product to move. So once you find that first talent, somebody that can sell it. Now in my case, I was my first talent because my first skill was sales. So I built around that talent. Okay? Now, this is how it looks. There are two options that you have with this back end. You give them an option for equity of your business, or you allow them to white label your product, and under a contract it states that you still own the product, they just sell it under their brand. That's what a white label is. You own the product, you own the rights of the product, they just sell it, but it's under their brand. They can't steal your product, they can't reproduce your product, and if they ever left to stop being your white label, they can't compete with you for a certain amount of years. Remember, because the person who creates the opportunity controls the what? The person who creates the opportunity controls the what? The contract. So you gave them two options. Now, can I tell y'all something? Most influencers, they don't want to run the business. They just want to influence. What's going on, Elias? I'm not flipping the camera. If y'all want to see my board, go to my YouTube. If you want to see my board, go to my YouTube. Tayler Jacobs. Most talent just want the bag and the notoriety. Most talent just want the bag and the notoriety. That's all they want. Just bag and notoriety. Oh, YouTube, that was only the first couple of minutes. YouTube has sound. Bag and notoriety. The business developers. The business developers. The back end people. The people that hold America together. The people that hold these companies together care more about securing and maintaining the future than they do notoriety and just a quick bag. So typically in the partnership, what happens? If you can exchange and help them with their notoriety and help them get a bag to better their circumstance, they'll sell whatever product you got. As long as it fits their audience. So for me, I don't like to just do a bunch of one-off pay for post. Like, you can do that to get started, but I like to find people and recruit. Okay? So this starts off with just anyone with 5,000 or more followers on social media is what I would call an influencer. 5,000 posts or more. 5,000 followers or more. And you want somebody that posts a lot. Here's why you want somebody that posts a lot. Because most influencers make their money off of what? Paid advertisement. Most influencers make their money off paid advertisement. If this was offline and we did not have social media, I would hire a great salesperson. Because it's just the same. Okay? Now when we're looking at the back end, you find the talent. There are two things you can offer them. Once you figure out that they are who they say they are, you do like a 90-day test period. I just want to try you out for 90 days to see if you got what you got. Whether it's your product or a basic white label, whatever it is, you create it for them and give them 90 days to figure it out. But they do sign a contract that they can't take your stuff or go sell it anyway, so you're good. Why? Because you created the opportunity. After the 90-day test, you got two options. You can give them equity in your business that has a vesting period. And what a vesting period is, it means that over a certain amount of years, typically 4 to 5 years, if you give them equity of your business, I would never give anybody more than 10% equity ownership ever. Until they, after that, they got to put their own money up. They got to buy into or produce godly amounts of whatever results. 4 to 5 years. Here's what a vesting period is. A vesting period is after 4 to 5 years after they sign the contract. They got to stay with you for 4 to 5 years before their equity becomes solidified. If they leave before 4 to 5 years, the equity goes back to you and y'all part ways. Somebody said, what is a service, not a product? I've already did the service, Callie. Somebody, we only got a minute left. There's only a minute left on IG. So if you're on IG right now, go over to my YouTube because there's only a minute left and you're not going to get the rest of this message. Alicia said, no way. I'm not signing nothing like that. I'll be looking for another opportunity. Well, this is a standard in an industry. If you have the business and you're recruiting somebody to come and sell or source products for your business that's already existing, you got to make sure that they're going to do more for the equity that you're assigning them before they paid for. Remember, you started, you got money, you got time, you got effort into it. They're just using their sales ability or their marketing ability or their influence ability to get your product out. Well, We all know that most salespeople that sell your product, when they realize how much money they're selling or how much money they're making you, they eventually leave you, learn your system, and go and compete with you. So you offer them the equity up front. There's an option for equity. You can have ownership. And if your intention is to stay with me for a long period of time, this 4 to 5 year vesting period shouldn't be nothing. But if your intention was to make bread and dip and leave, guess what? The equity goes back to the company. You leave, and now you can't compete with me because you've been in the system for a certain amount of years. You can't make it indefinite, but you can make the non-compete for a certain amount of years in a specific industry. If the person say, no, I don't want to do that, you say, here's the second option. We have a white label. I'll make my candles for you. I'll make the candles for you. So I'll make the candles. I'll handle the website. I'll handle the orders. And I'll handle the complaints. And you can have my candles with your own branding on it. Most influencers would take that deal. Most influencers would take that deal. Why? Because they want their own name, their own label, their own branding. They want all the own. That's fine. Absolutely. That's okay. Because this is the position that you want to be in anyway. Now let me ask you guys a question. That shit hard. Did I say anything about creating a bajillion posts? Did I say anything about creating a bajillion whatever and losing money? No. I said you made a couple of products, you show the value of it, you build your content online, you build your page online just to show your portfolio of what you're capable of making. And then you do what? Then you sell and you become the distribution for their brand. So say this person's name is Jessica Beauty. And her online brand is based on her beauty. Most influencers online sell books. They sell merchandise. Something like that. They don't have products. So you go to Jessica Beauty. You tell her to look at your portfolio. From looking at your portfolio, then you say, Jessica, I'll handle all of this and I'll put your own personal branding on it. She say, cool. There are two ways you can do this. You can get the money up front and you can charge her money up front. Or you can charge her no money up front and take some type of split, 60-40 or 80-20 split on the back end. You can charge her for the money up front and then she keeps 100% of her profits. Or you don't charge her and you do some type of 60-40 split on the back end or 80-20. Which one out of these two do you think that Jessica Beauty would choose? Which one out of these two do you think Jessica Beauty would choose? Charles said number 2. And Dingu said number 2. Of course, more people will take no money down back end sales. So guess what happens? You create an 80-20 relationship to start. So the partnership is 80-20 until, let's say, $250,000 worth of candles are sold. After that, it goes 60-40 on the brand until $500,000 of candles are sold. I'm just giving you an example. You can play with the numbers as you choose. Then you can go 50-50 until $3 million of candles are sold. Now let me ask y'all a really tricky question. Did you have to learn how to sell the products? Or is Jessica selling your products and you're making money doing it? Are you selling the products or is she selling the products? We just controlled the contract in the distro. She's selling the products. Yes. Yes. So let's do the math. Let's do the math. 80% of 250 is $200,000 on the product that you didn't sell. Someone else did. And guess what Jessica about to do? That's right, TP. She about to sell the hell out them candles. You want to know why? Because she want to get to that 50-50. And guess what you do as a partner? You allow for her to work her way up to now. She can have 80-20 depending on the type of production. So her splits will get easier and better the more she produces for you. Y'all got that? So far, you made $200,000 on the first level. She re-up. She say, man, that's cool. I made $50,000 selling candles that I don't make, that I don't brand, that I don't ship, that I don't offer. Heck yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. Then the next level, she do $500,000. You done made $300,000. She made $200,000. This is just year one. So you done made $500,000 in your business, never selling the product, never moving the weight, just creating the content, coming to Baknd Institute for free education, having us teach you. You running her blogs, her backend, her websites. You're doing all of that, and all she doing is just pushing the product forward. Then she sell, so year two, she take off. This year two, she plan a big launch. Y'all split 50-50. She hit $3 million. Guess what happens? You done made $1.5 million selling a candle that you never spoke to a single customer about. And then the sales go on and on. Then you want me to tell you? So in total, you done made $2 million never speaking to a soul. And then you going to be smart because guess what? You a back-end warrior. And being a back-end warrior, we smart. We want to take care of our family. So what we going to do? We going to do 10 more deals with 10 more Jessicas, making $20 million a year, never making a real post. Now, if that hits you some type of way, you like, damn, I've been working too hard. I want you to type in back-end warrior in the chat. I want you to type in back-end warrior in the chat. I want you to type in that back-end warrior in the chat. We work too hard, y'all. Type back-end warrior in the chat. Leslie said, I need to learn the game, Jake. They going crazy. That back-end warrior. We that back-end warrior. I got that back-end warrior from my brother, Get Baked. We twins. We changing our brand to fit him. That may be a reason long term. Just brand continuity.
You feel?
Back-end warrior. Can I tell y'all something? This is the real business. This is the real business. Now, some of y'all may be like, my sister Lily said, I like that better than another one. But guess what? Somebody's going to say yes to this opportunity and end up with 10% ownership of every brand that we do that with. See, that's why you got to have a vesting period. Because people can't just sit on what you got in the future if they're not committed to stay with you for the years. So they only saw it, oh man, I'm giving my... No! You got a bigger plan. You just got to see what they want to do with it. It's the back-end warrior. And can I tell y'all something? I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. This is what we teach our clients. Yeah. Y'all listen, can I tell y'all something? My personal brand, our company brand, is just the marker. It's just the marker. It's just to show people, yeah, we don't need you, we want you. It's just that. It's just that. No, we know what we doing. So when we tell people, hey, we can teach you how to really do that back end game. When we teach you, like, no, we can show you how to become a back end warrior. When we can show you how to do that, we got to show you that we've done it so that you can see that we can do that. So let me tell you why trees in the rainforest typically grow higher, stronger, and live longer than trees that are in the savannah. It's because what a lot of us fail to realize is that, and the show is coming to an end, a lot of us fail to realize that too much sunlight can burn your fruit. Too much sunlight can stunt your growth. Too much sunlight can burn your limbs. And a lot of us are yearning for a spotlight that will burn the future of you if you get too caught up in it. Can I tell you something? Cousin Jake, I ain't no saint to it. I done had too much sunlight before, but God is a God of redeeming. I don't want that sunlight. I want to stay in the back end where I belong. I want to stay in the back end where I belong. So for some of you all that do not know, y'all like how I change screens like that? So for some of you all that do not know, is that we actually teach and train people how to become the back end for free. We actually don't even charge for programs no more. And let me go back to my point. We think that the sun is what really grows the tree. No. It helps nourish it. But too much light burns all things that are great. Yeah, it does. That's why the trees in the rainforest, they grow stronger. They get the rain, they get the wind, they get just enough light. But they can stay out the way of the heat, which allows for them to grow and be strong. That's why the trees in the jungle and the fruit in the jungle are so much better and the fruit is so much juicier. Because the sun withers away fruit. See, we want to raise about a community of people that are okay with being on the back end because you know that your spotlight don't shine no less bright. You can control the contract. You can set the pace. You can manipulate it to where it benefits you and also the other person without it hurting anyone. And you allow those people that don't want to do nothing, y'all, let me tell you something. It will always be people that just want the sunlight. But they all wither away like raisins faster than you ever will. Yeah. They all wither away like raisins faster than you ever can. You want me to tell you why? Y'all like the dual? Y'all like that dual angle? You want me to tell you why? Because too much sunlight, too much spotlight, too much influence, too much stardom. It brings about something inside of you that burns from the inside out. That's why I care more about fortune and family than I do fame. And I learned it so you don't have to. So if y'all want to learn how you can become a back-end warrior, if you're not already in our program or on our technology, press the number 1 if you want to learn how to become a back-end warrior. Press the number 1 if you want to learn how to become a back-end warrior. By the way, all of our education is free. We don't charge for programs. We don't charge for teaching. Press the number 1. Why Marlon pressing number 1? Marlon, why you pressing the number 1? You our client. You like a brother now. What are you doing? We love when our clients turn into like family. Because that means we're going to be working together for a long time. Is the biz call? And register? Mm-hmm. When's it starts tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. All right. He said, I still got to be active, family.
Thank you, sir.
Go to bizcodeclass.com. Are we doing a class or are they going right into from scratch?
No, it's just ready for the live tomorrow.
All right, so we actually start our live tomorrow. It's a 2-day free class. 2-day free e-learning experience, and it's live with me breaking down how to create an amazing product from scratch. Whether it's service or physical product, that you can position yourself to be your own back end or be the back end for somebody else. So go to bizcodeclass.com to register. bizcodeclass.com to register. And we teach you how to create an amazing product that wins every time, that you can be the back end for someone else, or you can learn how to be the back end for your own brand. But at the end of the day, you got to be committed to the black end.
The black end.
Charles Riddler said, well worth it. You'll be glad you did. Somebody said, can you post the link? It's on the site. It's on my face. It's right here.
Hey, screenshot that question. I mean that from Charles. Yeah.
How am I screenshot it?
Command Shift 4.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
Do you see? Y'all don't see the link on my face? Do y'all see the link on my face? Go to bizcodeclass.com. It's literally on my face right here. Join the family. We see some of our back-end warriors. Junie on here. Marlon on here. Charles Riddler on here. We got some back-end warriors in here. So it's time. It's time to accept being in the back so God can elevate you to the front. Woo! See, what didn't he say? Didn't he say? I got to end it with a little scripture. He said, the last shall be first. That's what he said. That's what he said. The last shall be first, and the first shall be what, Iggy?
Last.
Yeah. He also said, the greatest among us will be a servant of all. That's what he said. So you got to serve your way to number one. Yeah. Junie said, so much value in the class, you won't be disappointed. So we got wealth building backwards. We thought wealth building was about self-building.
I see what you did.
You see what I did there?
I see what you did.
Wealth building, self-building? No, wealth is about servitude. That's why the greatest entrepreneurs and businessmen and billionaires, they make the most money. Why? Because they make other people wealthy. They give other businesses opportunity. They provide manufacturing, distribution, and back-end support for all of them. Y'all go and shine on all of them. My own me said to shine your light. You let them shine. And know that because of you, they shine. And that's all you got to know. Hold on. And watch this. Yeah. He said, and the meek shall inherit the earth. You know what that means? It doesn't mean meek like let me be low. It means that let me lower my value to elevate everyone else's. Because I know that when I elevate everyone else's, they'll come back to the root. Oh, can I leave them with this?
Yes, sir.
I got to leave y'all with something spiritual. So it can sit on your not shit, but sit. So when you look at the ground, what you're going to see is above ground, you will see the tree. and you'll see the apples. And you say, man, what a beautiful tree. How amazing is God? How amazing is He to create these branches where these trees... Wow. How amazing is He? This tree is beautiful. But what you don't see is the back end of the tree. See, the back end of the tree is 9,000 times larger. Now, 9,000 times is an over-exaggeration. I am capping on that one. But it is a lot larger and deeper and longer because it's the back end that supports the front end visuals. That's what it is. See, the roots are the back end of the fruits. Boy! Slow down, baby. You're going too fast. You got your hands in the air, your feet on the gas. About to wreck your future. Running from the past. Ain't got nothing to do with the message. I just felt that in my shana now. The roots are the reason you can enjoy the fruits. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, hide me, O Lord. Let me be the root to somebody's fruit. Because at least if I'm the root, can't nobody just walk up to me and pull on me. Ain't no birds just sitting on me and shitting on me. Ain't nobody just coming out here and hanging on my tree and cutting up my tree. The roots are hidden from destruction. The roots. It's the roots. That's why if you look at a fruit, it grows down before it grows up. So if you want God to cover your anointing and your skills and your gifts and your products, sometimes it's safer to be the back end than the front. Because, and lastly, I'll say this. Because the higher the fruits are away from the source, the further the relationship with God. Now, Jake, what you mean? Y'all know I got to always make it spiritual. See, the roots have to be ingrained in the source so it keeps it humble and protected. But the further you are away from the source, the further you are from your protection. So I say, God, make me a root. I don't want to be a fruit. Make me the stability to somebody else's tree. Make me the back end to somebody else's dream. Because I know that I'm going to get everything that I deserve and still be covered by you. So this is Dr. Tayler Jacobs. This is the Back End Podcast. And our goal is to teach you how to get the bag without being seen. I love you, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And we'll see you in class, bizcodeclass.com. Other than that, I'll see you on the next podcast next Monday at 2:30. Peace.